Again, good morning, students. We are in the chapter shoulder complex. Topic is integrated motions of shoulder complex. We are starting the topic over rotators of the scapula. As already you have understood the importance of the scapulothoracic movement or motion for the optimal function of the glenohumeral joint or the shoulder complex, we can call totally. So what is the importance of upward rotators of the scapula? We'll go through the biomechanics of the upward rotators of the scapula. The upward rotation of the scapula are primarily produced by a balance of the forces between the trapezius and serratus anterior muscle. So two muscles which are responsible for the upward rotation of scapula are trapezius and serratus anterior muscle through their attachment on the clavicle and the scapula. Both the and the important aspect of their attachment is that their attachment between the clavicle and the scapula. The upper portion of the trapezius muscle is attached to the clavicle. Why are we talking about clavicle especially? Because you all know that the origin and insertion, because especially trapezius is as a large muscle, is a quadrilateral muscle in the back which has attachment from the skull, that is a external occipital protuberance to the nuchal ligament, the nuchal line, supranuchal line. So it is along through most of the spinous process in the cervical and thoracic region, and then coming and attaching to the scapula. So but also with that they have attachment to the clavicle. So here the upward rotation of the scapula is mostly related to the attachment between the clavicle and scapula. The upper portion of the trapezius muscle is attached to the clavicle and positioned to contribute directly to the initial elevation of the clavicle. So upward portion of the trapezius muscle is attached to the clavicle, positioned to contribute directly to the initial elevation of the clavicle. The serratus anterior muscle makes its contribution to the combined clavicular and scapular motion through its action on the scapula. So it's a combined clavicular and scapular motion through its action on the scapula. We all know that it is in the middle, attached to the middle border of the scapula, which is an anterior side aspect. And so uh, given the hypothesized location of the axis of scapula, upward rotation at the initiation of the motion, given the hypothesized location of the hypothesis is the guessing of the axis of scapular upward rotation at the initiation of the middle trapezius may also. So we have the upper, middle and lower trapezius, as we whenever we study trapezius we try to divide into three parts: the upper, middle and the lower. So here we already discussed about the upper part. The middle trapezius also is contributing along although the serratus mandibular muscle has a much greater here, even though the middle trapezius is contributing, but the serratus anterior muscle has a larger moment of arm compared to that of the middle trapezius as an upward rotator. The lower portion of the trapezius muscle is not in a position to produce any upward rotation torque on the scapula during the initial stages of the motion. During the initial stages of the motion, the upper trapezius has a major role to play. The middle trapezius has a nominal role to play, but does not have a larger MA than the serratus anterior muscle, and the lower portion of the trapezius has a minimum role to play in the initial upward rotation torque production. So this is actually I just wanted you to familiarize the movements. So this movement is called as, so this is the clavicle, this is scapula clavicular joint. So here you can see that how the clavicle is moving downward, depression, how they are doing downward, and then you can see the upward rotation of the scapula happening here, and this is upward rotation, and this is a downward rotation of the scapula. This, as you know, this is anterior surface, this is the posterior surface scapula. This is scapula. We can see the glenoid fossa. So which scapula should this be? If you are seeing like this, naturally it has to be the right scapula, right side, and so naturally the um, you can see this is the the anterior tilting and posterior tipping, or what we call as tipping, anterior tipping and posterior tipping. During anterior tipping, what will happening is the inferior angle of the scapula will come outward, and during posterior tipping it will go inside. Now you can see the difference here. When this here the acromion process during the hyperadduction, the acromion process have to move backward. So when you have a head of the humerus here attached, and then you are trying to upper abduct, it may hit the acromion process. But to avoid that, the glenoid process will come to this area, but the acromion process move away. So this space, the coracoacromial arch, what you have, will be moving away. That's why we do not hit the head of the humerus, does not hit the acromion process. So posterior tipping is very, very important. We have studied in the last class the three important aspects of the scapular rotation, which is important to for the free movement of the head of the humerus. And this one is vertical view, superior inferior view. Here you can see how there is an internal rotation and there is an external rotation. So this is an external rotation because it is the scapula, the lateral aspect of scapula is moving externally, and here it is moving internally. So this internal rotation, and this is the external rotation. And also to familiarize some of the movement, already we are going to discuss about the shoulder complex as a whole. The other movements are depression and elevation, so we'll be discussing about the here. I just wanted to show you that if this is the normal resting position of scapula, any movement upward is called of the scapula is called as elevation. This is the depression. Towards this is called as protraction, lateral side, and then to the middle side, retraction. Then the upward rotation and the downward rotation. If this is moves towards outward side, the inferior angle, upward rotation, towards back to the normal, or maybe a little bit downward, it's called as downward rotation. The serratus anterior muscle, with its insertion into the inferior angle and the middle border of the scapula, plays a primary role in stabilizing the scapula to the thorax. So inferior angle of the scapula and the middle border of the scapula, where the serratus anterior muscle is attached, plays an important role in stabilizing the scapula to the thorax. So the thorax essentially approximates the scapula to the thorax, and attaches to the even though there is no anatomical joint, but this muscle functionally, serratus anterior helps in stabilizing the scapula to the thorax. Although the function of the serratus anterior muscle is classically considered to be production of scapular protection. Usually when we study anatomy, we study that the main job of the function or action of serratus anterior is scapular protraction. But here we are talking about the integrated functions. The classical role it is playing now. So here he is playing as stabilizing the scapula to the thorax. Its line of action is capable of producing acromioclavicular joint external rotation. As we already talked about, the external rotation of the acromioclavicular joint is very much essential for what? For the abduction of the humerus. So this external rotation is produced by the stabilizing function of this serratus anterior, thereby producing external rotation in the acromioclavicular joint. Pulls the scapula laterally on the thorax. It pulls the scapula laterally on the thorax. In fact, paralysis of serratus anterior already would have studied in the anatomy. And what will happen? We call it as the scapula will the medial border of the scapula will be popping out, and we call this as winging, scapular winging. Scapular winging is due to the paralysis of serratus anterior muscle. Winging is the internal rotation of the scapula will be internally rotated rather than externally rotated when the serratus anterior is intact. I just want to show you the action live. Two figures are there. You can see that now here you can see how it is affecting. You can see the inferior angle here. This is the inferior. So this is a serratus anterior muscle. The action line, this force vector is shown to show you that how any movement of the inferior angle towards the lateral side. Here you can see the head of the person. This is a posterior view. So any outward movement is called as upward rotation of the scapula. Which muscle is facilitating that? the orientation of the inferior. So inferior, the serratus anterior muscle, which is attached to the inferior angle of the scapula, when they are actually attached toward the middle border, but when they are in the anterior, when they are pulled, what will happen? This force vector will act. So what will happen? The inferior angle of the scapula will be pulled upward. That is called as upward rotation of the scapula. With that, three action lines are coming. Another one is the upper trapezius, which is attached to the, I already told you the attachment, superior attachment. So this one, so this is the insertion on the upper trapezius attached to the spine of the scapula. So this pull, so when there is so that will totally tilt the scapula. That upward rotation will happen, and the upper aspect of the scapula will move, rotate internally, and this one downward, the inferior angle of scapula. So this upward rotation will happen, and the lower trapezius will help to pull the scapula downward. So altogether, the upper trapezius and lower trapezius and the contracting force of the serratus anterior will facilitate upward rotation. Again, I am showing you that in a different aspect. The lower trapezius pulling the scapula from the root of the base or root of the base of the spine of the scapula. The upper trapezius pulling the trapezius from the clavicular attachment, as well as the what you call as the acromion, so the spinous process, which is the lateral border. This pulls away, and this upper serratus anterior and lower, the upper serratus anterior is pulling upward, and lower serratus anterior pulling. Anyway, this direction of pull, this creates a rotation, or what we call as the upward rotation of the scapula. These are already what we have discussed, and again we will be discussing later. I just wanted to give you an idea of which are all the muscle involved in specific movements of scapula, the muscles involved in the movement of scapula. We are not talking about the movement of glenohumeral joint. We are talking about the movements of scapula. You don't have to confuse it. This is a specific movement, muscles involved in a specific movement of scapula as such. Elevation is by upper trapezius, rhomboids, which may have both major and minor, and the levator scapula. You can see the here this third one is a levator scapula, which is going to elevate the scapula. Then you have the what you call, already discussed in the last picture, upper trapezius, and then you have the rhomboids, which are mostly in this towards the middle border of the scapula. We have the rhomboids which play an important stabilizing this thing. We will be discussing about that later. In depression, it is actually, here you have to remember that in elevation there is upper trapezius, rhomboids and levator scapula. Anyway, levator means elevation of scapula, so there is no doubt in that. Levator scapula is to elevate the scapula. Then the upper trapezius and the rhomboids also help in the elevation of scapula. In depression, take the other lower trapezius and the lower serratus anterior, which helps in the depression. Abduction of scapula. Here we are not talking about the abduction of humerus. We are talking about the abduction. In the abduction of scapula, again serratus anterior muscle is helpful in the abduction of the scapula. Adduction, of course, rhomboids and some parts of the trapezius also. Rhomboids' major function is also to adduction. It stabilizes the scapula towards the middle side, that is adduction. Now we already discussed about the upward rotation. Upward rotation, you should not forget again. You have the serratus anterior, you have the upper trapezius and the lower trapezius. So upper trapezius action line is upward, lower trapezius downward, and then serratus anterior creating a rotational effect also. And this external rotational effect along with the inferior, serratus anterior pulling the inferior angle of scapula in a upward rotation manner. Downward rotation naturally towards the medial, the rhomboids again, the major muscle. Also, along when the rhomboids are functioning to produce a downward rotation. Normally, downward rotation means that bringing back the scapula from upward rotation to the neutral position. And mild degree of downward rotation may happen from the what we call as the resting position of the scapula. But usually if you see that this is a normal position, so this is a normal, slight movement of the scapula is seen here. Slight movement of the scapula is seen here. So this is produced pathologically. You can see that whenever the upper trapezius muscle, which is attaching to this part, if they are paralyzed, then what will happen is the superior pull of the upper